Good morning. I'd like to thank Malaysia sir, Mahesh, and the management of Oxford College of Engineering for giving me an opportunity to make a presentation on importance of conservation of environment. So, with your kind permission, I'll be disabling the webcam and I'll be sharing my screen. Thank you. So, whenever we speak about environmental conservation, we need to first understand in what prerogative or what perspective we are looking at it. Because depending on what type of audience you're catering to, or depending on what target participants you have, the presentation will tend to vary. The simplest form of a presentation of this would be wherein you explain to an audience that what is an environment, what are its components, what is an ecosystem, okay, how is environment or ecosystem beneficial to us. However, irrespective of all these aspects, if your target audience or participants are not willing to accept it, then it definitely doesn't work. My dear friends, what I'm trying to explain to you is that all the great things, all the big things that we talk, for instance, sustainable development, okay, or all the rosy pictures that we talk about, deforestation, population explosion, ozone depletion, acid rain, air pollution, all these is not going to be of much significance unless they are applicable. Now, let me try to explain to you what I'm trying to get at. Now the most important word that we have used and abused a lot is global warming and climate change. But if I tell you that it's not global warming that you need to be scared about, it's urban warming. Okay. Now, what am I trying to put across to you? I'm trying to come to a concept that we have misunderstood a lot, and that concept is the concept of environment itself. As we are aware, it's a French word. It means to surround. Okay, so we have learned in our school days anything that surrounds us is the environment. Definitely, the Himalayas or the Ganges is not part of our environment. That's something we have learned wrong. Okay, in fact, if you ask me, it's not the Himalaya or Ganges. I would rather say that, COVID-19, coronavirus is actually our environment because it is very close to us and it is influencing us. In simple words, anything that surrounds you is not the environment, rather something which is your immediate surrounding is your environment, because something which is very close to you, in near proximity, only that can influence you. Since we are in Karnataka and all of your diehard fans, let me just give you one more way of explaining this to you. Please listen carefully. ಕನ್ನಡ ನುಡಿ ಚಿನ್ನದ ನುಡಿ ಸಿರಿಗನ್ನಡ ನುಡಿ ನಾವಿರುವ ತಾಣವೇ ಗಂಧದ ಗುಡಿ. Now, my dear friends, all of you are aware of that personality that was Dr. Rajkumar. And you're also, just imagine that this movie or this scene, which is from the movie Gandhada Gudi, which basically speaks about the forest richness of Karnataka. If you're watching this in a theater, okay, then there's a certain kind of magic or aura that you're influenced by. Okay, but I would rather put it more briefly across, saying that let us say you are yourself in the forest, and this actor comes in front of you in the horse or in the elephant, then that magic or that influence that would have upon you is greater. So the moral of story is simple: environment is not your surrounding, environment is your immediate surrounding. Therefore, when you speak about conservation of environment, you should speak about conservation of your immediate environment. You may ask me, there are agencies, there is government, there is non-governmental agencies, there's also something great as corporate societal environmental responsibility. Then why should we do it. See, basically, environmental protection is a responsibility of every earthling, every human being, every creature. And if you really want to know the truth, okay, so these responsible authorities, are they really doing it responsibly well? Are they doing it for the heart? Or are they doing it for the sake of it? If you want to see a real conservator, then let's just see this video. This lady on the screen is a real conservator. So, my dear friends, that lady, no, Salumartha Timmaka, that lady is a real environmental conservator. And it is from people like this that we need to learn, understand the concepts of environmental conservation. She had conserved her immediate environment, which was a blessing for rest of the people. Okay, now, yes, having said all this, I agree. What I'm trying to achieve here is, if at least one of you can take my words forward and spread this word to a greater society, and then it will spread. The ulterior objective is, if the concept of ignorance and arrogance can be eliminated from us humans. It's very simple, if you tell somebody that, please do not pollute rivers, it's not good. They understand it, well and good. They're sensible. If they don't understand it, continue to do it, it's arrogance. But then how do you handle it? There is a way in which the concept of conservation must be conveyed. Okay, one message conveyed to a different audience will not click. Depending on the kind of participant and the audience, you need to convey the message differently. Okay, now, if you look at this photograph, you all would appreciate saying awesome photographs. But it's an awesome place. But my dear friends, if you don't conserve the environment, will this place exist? Will this picture exist? Will you be able to give your 5,000 Facebook likes? Definitely not. So at least from that perspective, you need to conserve the environment. Okay, Kudremukh, which is in Karnataka, has already faced a lot of problems thanks to our greed. See how the transformation of its natural landscape has happened. It took just years to destroy it. And it has taken more than 10 to 20 years for it to regain its natural glory. Since we talk about environment, you're talking about forest, you're talking about air, you talk about water. Oh, water, yeah. We're speaking about lakes. Okay, Bangalore doesn't have any rivers. Okay, so we're talking about lakes. Bangalore, once upon a time, had thousands of lakes. Sorry, I'm so sorry. It had 1,000 lakes, which was, built by Sri Kempegowda, the founder of Bangalore. But now, what do you find the lakes? Handful. Even those handful are kind of, spoiled. Okay, now, this interestingly is a lake. Oh, I'm so sorry. So-called once upon a time a lake. So what happened? The authority felt bad. They want to make sure that it still gives a feeling of lake. So ahoy, you have got water. So this is your lake. So where did all the water go? This is where all the water went. Okay. Now, let me show you a small video to make you understand what I'm trying to delve upon. Basically, that is where all your water went. So basically, when you speak about conservation, it's not merely that you speak about the problem, but how the problem has originated. Okay, now when you speak about the lakes of Bangalore, we need to understand that lakes basically had a cascading effect. Okay, once upon a time, 1,000 lakes of Bangalore, as I said, now reduced to a handful, that also in a pity state. Now, in those days, whenever it rained, the overflow from one lake went to the other lake. But now what we've done is we have removed the receiver, we have removed the transportation channel, we removed the source. So eventually, where will all the water come? It will come into your area. And that is when you see scenes like this, wherein you've got humans and buses and locomotives and even planes floating and swimming in water. Okay, so it's not merely conserving the environment, but how you need to plug the problem that resulted in the issue. Despite all this, we always say, there's no water left, there's a lot of drought, but no, it's how you manage water that is most important. We always say water, water, not a drop to drink. That's the first thing you need to eradicate. Rather, you should now say that water, water, not a clean drop to drink. Okay, if it's not surprising, if I tell you that even in James Bond movie, in Quantum of Solace, the objective of the argument or the battle was protecting water resources. That means the next world war will not be fought over gold or platinum. Rather, it will be water, which is more scarce. So that makes it important. Okay. Now, for a common audience, it always works when I say that, you need to reduce or eliminate the usage of plastics. You must definitely not use straws. You must definitely not, put plastics into the river or sea, because that's not good for the aquatic life. People who are ignorant will understand and oblige. People who are arrogant will not do it. Then how do you handle the people who are arrogant and end up with scenes like this? Okay, probably those people should understand that, next time when you go to buy a fish, you don't need to carry a plastic cover. The fish will have plenty of plastic inside the fish itself. So people who are arrogant also need to understand the consequences of their action. It's not simply enough that, we speak about Swachh Bharat Abhiyan, Shramdaan, Clean Bharat, we speak about, cleaning the garbages, but we should understand that, there should not be any source of garbage in the first place. You should talk about reduction at the source in the first instance. People should understand that piling up of garbage leads to epidemics and plague. Okay, you handle this, then there is no question of cleaning up the place. You speak about e-waste collection drive. People who do not understand the sensitivity should understand when you dump electronic waste, it literally pollutes your soil and the water, which eventually will come back into your body system. So this is one more way people have to understand. Okay. Now, this is something which is really critical when it comes to environmental conservation. All of us who are scared of the locust swarm, farmers who are scared, agriculturists who are scared. But the reality is 30, 40, 50, 60 years back, the locusts still had come, but they were not a major concern. Why? Because environmental conservation was happening at that instance. But now that you have lost the connection, now that you're not conserving the environment, what did you do? You have removed the predators, the natural predators. You have killed the birds. You have trapped the birds and you kept it at some pet fancy stores. Okay, these parakeets or small birds, they actually were the natural predators. Now that you have not taken care of this, you have failed, and a failure of environmental conservation is actually going to hurt us. This incident has not happened very far from your college. Probably, let's say, Hosur. Okay. Now, this man-animal conflict is not new, but whenever we hear about them, we need to understand why a man-animal conflict arises. Okay. Whenever you have elephants coming and raiding your sugarcane fields, you need to understand why it happens. You need to ask the question, where did they come? Did they come to your city? Did they come to your town? Definitely not. They just came to the fringes of the forest, which was once upon a time a forest, and you are responsible that they came to your area. It was not your area. It was their area that you have encroached. Okay. So again, it's a failure of conservation which is coming to haunt you with man-animal conflicts. Everyone speaks about tiger. Once upon a time, lion was a national animal. And then since tiger numbers were dwindling, the government has declared tiger as a national animal in 1980s. Okay, sorry, 1973. But it's not merely we understand that tiger is the apex predator. We need to understand that tiger has a bigger role to play, not just for its aura, not just for its majestic look, not just for its stripes, or not just for its ferocious appearance. Okay. Since we are in Karnataka, since we are in Bangalore, we understand we don't have water, we need to depend on Kaveri. But yes, if you people want to have Kaveri River, you need to protect the tigers. What you're looking at on your screen is a Shola ecosystem, grassland ecosystem. Your Kaveri River originates thanks to these grasslands, which behaves as sponges. Now, if you don't have tigers, if you eliminate the tigers, then who will control the praise? That is your, sorry, who will control your herbivores? Who will control the antelopes? Who will control the black bucks? Who will control the deers? They will eventually end up wiping out this greenery. Then there will be no Kaveri. So if you want Kaveri River, better you protect the tigers. Okay. Now, nature is one more place wherein there is a lot of aura with respect to mimicry. Okay. Anything you see in this world is not the the brainchild of a human being. Rather, it's simple mimic of nature. Even if you see the car, or if you see the the great advertisement about the Asian paint, wherein you can wipe the dirt clean, it's not the creativity of a human being. It's rather a mimic of how nature handles it. Okay, I'm talking about biomimicry. So for somebody, this looks like a stadium. For somebody, it looks like Beijing. For me, it would look like a crow's nest. Okay, I'm talking about biomimicry. But if you want biomimicry to happen, you need to preserve bio. You need to preserve or conserve the environment. To have a plane like this, if you didn't have a bird like this, how would you come out with that model? So even biomimetics requires conservation of environment. This is the theme music from Tanaji, which was released very recently. Now, what is important, we need to understand from this movie to this movie, that is Mission Impossible. Now, that's a civil marvel, the Burj Khalifa, and that's your Tom Cruise hanging. Now, what we need to understand is in both of them, both Tanaji and Tom Cruise actually utilized the potential of nature to climb, whether it was a fort or the Burj Khalifa. So if you want to tomorrow come out with ideas, you still need the basic source of ideas to be alive. You need to protect. Now, monitor lizard is the basic idea which, Tanaji Malusare took to conquer Singhgad, or even Tom Cruise to climb the Burj Khalifa. So yes, nature is important. You know why? Because biomimicry helps you to understand how nature solves its problems. Now, this is the best part. We are all online thanks to COVID, but how effective is this online education? I have no clue. Okay, I do not know how many of you are really actively listening to me from here, but this is how an online education happens if it's not effective. Now, please understand, you just cannot have environmental conservation happening online. Okay, to have environmental conservation, you need to get involved. You need to be in the forest. You need to get passionate about what you're doing. Otherwise, it will just merely be on the papers. There's so much you can learn from environment. All you need to do is stop looking and start observing. There's a lot of things that the nature is doing to make sure that it is safe, clean, and not polluted. Okay, it's time that you, all of us start observing and taking lessons from them. Please remember, what I'm talking is not something new. Okay, nature existed before we came. Nature will exist even after we go. Nature will always be there. Okay. Now, any civilization for that matter, whether it's your Mesopotamian civilization or your Egyptian civilization, nature was always there. So all these murals are very simple representation of, to understand the fact that they also observe nature. So what went wrong with us? We have forgotten to observe nature. Even if you look at, the Bidar Fort, the Sultanate, they also had observed nature. This is a civil structure wherein water is allowed to move without any friction. That is the pattern of fish scales. Again, observation matters. Okay. Now, We speak about God, we are highly religious, we have more than thousands and 10,000s of gods, but then are we really respecting them? You talk about gods, we don't even realize that, there is nature around that god also. When you talk about killing elephants, you don't even realize, for a Hindu, you start your day praying to a elephant god. Okay, you name the religion, that religion also has spoken about it. So we all are, fanatics. We speak about religion and gods, but why don't we speak about that critical aspect which the religion preaches, protecting the nature? So that means it's up to us. We take what we like, we disregard what we don't like. Okay, now everyone sees Spider-Man, okay, but we forget again the concept is based on spider. Okay, now we always go towards the West. Even before we had Spider-Man, Superman, Batman, we already had a superhero and he was called Hanuman. Okay, now this gentleman is also connected with nature and wildlife. So let's get back the connections that we have lost. There's no need of talking about deforestation, cutting down of trees, planting 100 saplings. It doesn't make any sense. Please understand, to have the effect of one tree takes hundreds of years for one sapling itself. That's what we need to understand when we talk about conservation. Conservation is not planting 100 saplings. Conservation is about getting the real effect of it. Okay. Now, this gives a very clear picture of what human beings are. We can't plant a sapling, we cannot protect a tree, but yes, we are ready to, always look for shade. Even if you want to go and cut a tree, you will sit in the shade of the tree before you cut it. Okay, but we don't think twice. That tree also is home to many organisms. Okay. Now, I think this picture speaks more than 1,000 words. How important a tree is, then why can't we protect it? Okay. Now, I'm almost towards the end of the presentation. If this civilization should not disappear, we should take lessons from the Mayan civilization, which probably people said disappeared because of aliens, Martian attack and dinosaurs, but it simply disappeared because those people did not conserve their environment. Okay, and if we don't take lessons from this, tomorrow someone else will be giving similar presentation, and instead of Mayan civilization, it will be our civilization. Okay, just see what happened to the Mayan civilization. So, my dear friends, the Mayan civilization did not disappear because of any alien attack. Okay, there was no Mars attack. It simply disappeared because those people started believing in gods in the form of temples. Okay, they forgot to realize that the greatest god is nature itself. Now, since they had indulged in, elaborate deforestation, with all the trees gone, there was no precipitation, the water cycle was impacted, and eventually all of them were wiped out. Okay, now you must have heard about the tsunamis which had come and hit or probably unleashed a lot of destruction. But even during the tsunami time, there were certain villages which were safeguarded, protected from nature by nature. That is because they had elaborate protective cover of mangroves around them, which protected them from the wrath of the hurling waters. Now, if we continue to destroy these mangroves, then God alone save us when tsunami comes. And let me tell you, despite of how many sensors you have, despite how many of our, artificial intelligence you have, you just cannot model the dynamics of nature. It will come, it will strike, and we will be caught off guard. Okay. So now, what I'm trying to say is, today we are on the left, and dinosaurs on the other side. If we continue our ways, one probable day we'll be switching positions, and probably in a museum in some galaxy, aliens will be commenting, these are the Homo sapiens, the greatest fools who destroyed the most beautiful planet of the earth. So to stop that, I think all of us need to take small steps. Each one of us can do it. One person can make a difference, and that one person can be you. Okay, you can take a call, you don't have to depend, because if you don't do it, one fine day, the earth will look like this. And I'm sorry, we'll not be able to afford that. But, probably, I'm not sure how many of you are motivated by my talk. Generally, what happens is you're, motivated by Sunday, and, by the next day, your motivation goes down. when it comes to conservation of environment, I understand sometimes motivation comes to you like this webinar. Sometimes motivation itself will hunt you. Okay, but most importantly, you need to stay motivated. You need to find ways of how to be motivated in this regards. Okay. Now, once upon a time, you played with butterflies, you played with helicopters, dragonflies. But what happened today? Why have you failed to detect those butterflies and birds and dragonflies around you? Okay, why? Because you think that you are the most supreme creature on this earth. That's egoistic approach. My dear friends, all I want to tell is, if you can remove yourself from the concept that you are the most important creature on earth, then the earth will be saved, because we are just one among many creatures on the earth. In fact, the most least important creature who doesn't even have any constructive role to play. Okay, please understand, there are so many things that we do not know. It's time we learn, unlearn, relearn. If I tell you that on the frame you're looking at two tigers, of course you know Panthera, you're looking at the tiger. Okay, but there's also a butterfly on my hand, on my palm, on my finger, which is also called as a tiger, blue tiger, Tirumala limnaceae. So maybe we don't know a lot, and it's time that we start learning, and that can help us, wherein we will become nature centric. We will move away from egocentric. Okay, now every time you cross a forest, remember, the deers and the tigers and elephants are not crossing the road. You are. Your road is. Okay, now if I want to make it very clear of how important human beings are, this is how important it is. We thought we were the greatest creatures, and thanks to one virus, we are all indoor and see beautiful. There is no pollution in 2020, but look at 2019. My friends, if we eliminate all the humans from this earth, the earth will be a beautiful place. But if you eliminate any other organism, even say ant for that matter, this earth will collapse. This biome will self-destruct. So let's begin to understand that, today is not 20th June. Today is not 15 days after World Environment Day. Every day is World Earth Day. Every day is World Environment Day. If you can be with that attitude, then this earth will be a beautiful place. Thank you, friends. I'm done with my presentation. If you have any queries, you may kindly raise it. And at this outset, I also would like to thank, Malaysia sir, his team, and the management of Oxford College for giving me this opportunity, for making this presentation. It was a nice pleasure to get back to Oxford. If I start gauging my growth as a naturalist, there are three phases. First is wherein I had exponentially grown, and that was in Acharya College, and then I've stabilized my activities in conservation, which is presently in BMS. But the seeds for my thoughts were sown in Oxford College itself. I met all great people. All that happened in Oxford College. So it's a great pleasure, and I would like to thank the organizers, Malaysia sir and Mahesh, once again for giving me this opportunity. Thank you. Godspeed. God bless you.